Hi, I'm John Prasinos, Editorial Director of Investing Daily. Welcome to my weekly weed report for Tuesday, February 22nd. This video presentation is my latest analysis of emerging trends and breaking news in the marijuana sector with an eye on how to profit from the psychotropic revolution. Around the world, investment opportunities in marijuana are set to greatly expand. It's not too late to tap into pot's explosive growth, but to make the right choices, you need to be informed. Let's start with the latest news in marijuana industry financing. The prohibition of marijuana at the U.S. federal level limits financing options for marijuana companies and substantially boosts their capital costs. Take a look at the following chart. Debt in 2021 accounted for 38% of financing for marijuana companies, up from 18% in 2018, according to research firm New Frontier Data. Marijuana companies are increasingly turning to debt and venture capitalists as opposed to issuing equity. Among VCs, funding cannabis startups has become a hot activity. In the past, the cannabis industry has struggled with access to capital due to the conservative nature of financial institutions and the federal ban on pot in the U.S. However, both the debt and VC markets are opening up as marijuana becomes a respectable business. The trade-off, though, is the loss of management control for marijuana entrepreneurs. Regardless, as retail revenue continues to grow in legal cannabis, so will jobs, business opportunities, payrolls, and, of course, tax revenue produced for the federal government. See this chart. Total federal tax revenue came to $2.9 billion in 2017. Tax revenue is expected to grow consistently, reaching $6.7 billion by 2025. Roughly 200,000 jobs exist in today's legal cannabis market. By 2025, projections anticipate 630,000 industry-specific marijuana jobs. And yet, despite the rapid pace of legalization and the emergence of state legal marijuana dispensaries, most Americans still buy their pot away from stores. This chart tells the story. As state governments increasingly tax cannabis sales, they're driving up the cost of weed products, prompting people to seek cheaper, untaxed sources. Now let's turn to the state of the states, Hawaii. A Hawaii Senate committee last week approved legislation to allow people 65 years and older to automatically qualify for medical marijuana, regardless of whether they have a diagnosed condition that would make them eligible. Under existing Hawaiian law, only patients diagnosed as having a debilitating medical condition by a doctor qualify for the program. That would be expanded to also include anyone who has reached the age of 65. This proposal amounts to de facto legalization for the elderly, a fact that has garnered some opposition to the bill among conservative lawmakers. Opponents to the bill argue that it makes it too easy for seniors to obtain medical marijuana. Maryland. A key Maryland House committee last week approved two bills to place a cannabis legalization referendum on the November ballot and begin establishing details for the program if voters approve. See the following tweet. The twin proposals are expected to be taken up on the floor of the Maryland House this week. The first bill would ask voters to approve an amendment to the state's Constitution to legalize cannabis use and possession by adults at least 21 years old. It also would direct lawmakers to set laws to provide for the use, distribution, regulation, and taxation of cannabis within the state. The second measure is designed to lay the groundwork for that goal. It specifies that the purchase and possession of up to 1.5 ounces of cannabis would be legal for adults, and it would eliminate criminal penalties for possession of up to 2.5 ounces. Past convictions for conduct made legal under the proposed law would be automatically expunged, and those currently serving time in prison for such offenses would be eligible for resentencing. New Hampshire. The New Hampshire House of Representatives last week approved legislation to legalize marijuana and conduct sales exclusively through state-run stores. Under the proposal, which must still go before the House Finance Committee and then undergo another floor vote before advancing to the Senate, adults 21 years and older would be allowed to buy marijuana from state-run dispensaries operated by the New Hampshire Liquor Commission. They could possess up to 4 ounces, but home cultivation would still be outlawed. As I've just made clear, the legalization of marijuana is a social, political, and financial revolution that's making early investors rich. But in the fickle marijuana sector, careful stock selection is all the more important. We've pinpointed a trailblazing marijuana biotech that's on the verge of becoming the Pfizer of pot. For details, click the URL that's at the bottom of the article that accompanies this video on the Investing Daily website. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week with the latest news in the wide world of weed.